All right, well, it is Sunday afternoon, and we are at Waialae Country Club in Honolulu, Hawaii, for the final round of the Oahu Shootout here on Tenacious Sports. This is the Tenacious Golf Tour, fictional golf campaign that we're using the Pro National Golf Tour set from Play Games, and this game is History Maker Golf. And as always, you can find this game through the Play. I believe it's now Play. I don't know. I haven't ordered anything from them in a little while. It could be PlayNow.com with two A's, Play Now, or Play Classic. One of those two, you should be able to find this game. So let's get to the camera here. Now, my computer has been a little wonky. I believe there are going to be some, what do you want to call it, reinforcements on the way to help me out here in the next few days. But suffice it to say, that's probably not going to help much right at the moment. But let's hope when I get, let's see, how do I, there we go. Just want to try and see if I can focus this a little more. All right, so again, this is the Oahu Shootout. We did the first 3 rounds with some hops and skips throughout because of having to debug some programming, but we're halfway through the final group, the leaders, and Franz Hackl looking for his first tour victory. This is our 4th season of this tour, so the Dane would love to get his first victory under his belt. He's got a one-shot lead over Chico Fonseca and also Gail Honorado and Su Cheng Tien. Su Cheng is on the rise. He's 4 under on his round. They're all one back. Then Isaac White, a newcomer to the tour, is at -6. And let's just jump right into the action. You can see the rest of the names on the leaderboard here. So we're going to start with the 13th. The course cards are here. It's called Diamond Head Country Club. 477 yards. And the first to play will be Kenji Morita, who is currently sitting tied for 6th. He is 5 shots back of Franz Hackl. So we get the roll in here. So if white 4, because it's in the group of die faces that are here on the white die, that means that it is course controlled, and then we take black and silver. So a 3 and a 4, that's 34, and we look here, it's a black square, so that means that we look off of the golf cam, which focuses on the course characteristics, and then we use the green 2 on the par 4 chart to find out. It's going to check if it's a cordial hole, which that goes off of usually it's the first, if there is one. It's cordial or daunting. These come in pairs, right? They're opposite pairs. Cordial is the opposite of daunting. So because it's daunting, it's not cordial. Then we go over to, is it daunting? Daunting with a little dot. So that, what we do is we check the decider die, which is right here, which it currently has no dot. If it were a dot, then that would make this semi-daunting daunting, but because there's no dot, it makes it a normal hole without any rating. So then we go to the next one. So otherwise, it's a solid play. We get an easy putt for par. And you can see it's getting a little skippy here. So like I said before, I need a little more processing power on this thing. So hopefully by the end of this coming week, we'll have that. But the other thing I haven't put up here yet, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it. Let me dig around for a second. If I can find it, I'll put it up there. I'd say there's about a 50% chance I'll find it. I'll say there's a 100% chance. So there we go. So this is the putt chart. We could put it down here. So easy putt for par. You can see if because it's par, you go to easy. So it's a high roll. So you see at the bottom it says 6-6 miss. So I'm gonna roll. I like rolling the black and the green. I like rolling the green for the putts and the black and green if it's a 2 dice putt, and I add the silver in if it's a 3rd. As long as it's not 6s, that will be a par. And so Kenji Morita gets a par on the 13th hole. So this isn't exactly like your golf tournament because when you're watching golf, golf, everybody plays up the hole. All 3 golfers in a group would play up the hole at the same time, but just the way that it works. The way this game works, you just kind of have to do them sort of one at a time. And so Shinji Konishi, he is also in, he's 5 back, and he's got some chips here. He's going to go ahead and try and take control of this. So there's one. Let's roll the decider die. Is it daunting? Yes, it is. So he's going to have to use this second one that fell out of my hand. But we're going to try and have him take control of this tough par 4. So a 1 and a 5 and a 5. Is he a bomber or a duffer? Neither of those, and he's not a champion, so we go to right now. Konishi is semi-hot. If I go over to this screen here, so Konishi had a birdie on 12, a par on 11, so that means he's semi-hot, but the green die is going to roll on, it's going to roll to 1, which actually is going to ask, it won't ask if he's hot, it'll ask if he's cold. So because he's semi-hot, that means he is definitely not cold. So that would give him a gimme birdie putt. So Konishi could jump to -5 if he can make the 6-6 miss on the gimme birdie. And he makes it. So a birdie for Konishi, and he's within 4. Got a pretty good leaderboard here, I think. Should be interesting coming in here. Yunli Song is the only guy I think. I think Tien may have had a win last year. That may be the only. Well, Konishi definitely won a major. So there's a few guys here looking for the first victory, but you got a couple of veterans just hanging around. And now Burke Yielding only has 1 chip, so he's gonna have to play. And guess what? He gets a white 6. So in this game, when you roll a white 6, basically means that you're hitting, say, a below average shot, and it takes patience for you to then, you can then accept a par because of that, and that patience earns you a blue chip. It's just the way the game is constructed. I don't know if I 100% buy into the way that works, but you play by the rules set out by the manufacturer, and so we call that a patient par. So he gains a little confidence for the future with this blue chip, which he could use on a clutch putt. He could use it in a number of places. Like Konishi used it to take control of a hole, which yielded him a birdie eventually. So the chips are a fun way to kind of like add the strategy element, and sometimes they work out for the best, and other times you waste chips. Sometimes you spend chips and they actually hurt you. So there's no guarantees. Now we move to the 12th for this next group. This is the way you play the game. You start with this group on 1, and then you go this group on 2 and this group on 1, and then 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, etc., all the way through. Now I haven't pulled anybody out of contention yet. Burke Yielding, Sykes, and Bryce Cadogan, they're probably eligible, but I'm going to just go ahead and play them. So Lonzo DeLucci, fellow countryman of Chico Fonseca, will be the first to play 12. This is a shorter par 4, 440. Still not terribly short, but it's pretty straightforward. Not much challenge. Got a friendly rating for the green, so the green should not be a problem. So let's see how it'll do. And only the one face gets the course control. And even with that, when the course is in control, you've got cordial and friendly, so you have a pretty decent chance of a good score here, or at least a par, and maybe hopefully birdie. Okay, so we go with the 3. It's not on here, so this is course. This is golfer control. The golfer's traits will decide this one, and so we got 1, 2, 5. You take the other 3 and you put them in sequential order. Bomber, no. Hacker, no. That gives us Golf Cam Green. So then you flip to the Golf Cam Green chart. This is going to focus on the green's characteristics. The green is friendly. So the par 4-1, is it a challenging green? No. Is DeLucci a scatter golfer? He is the opposite. He's a shaper. So he'll have a clutch putt for birdie. Now his real Achilles heel here is he's a semi-rust putter. So another aspect I don't have in the chart there is this clutch putting and how that works. But if you're a gold is the best, rust is the worst. Rust means that when you roll the green die, if it's a 1, you make it. If it's 2 through 6, you miss. That's for rust. For gold, 1 through 5, you make it. 6, you miss. And then normal is 1 to 3, so that's a 50% chance. And then semi-rust is 1 through 2. There's 2 ways you can do the semi-quality. So semi-rust, you could roll the decider die, and that would either make it rust if there's a dot, or neutral if there's not, right? But so this is going to be a 1 to 2 putt for DeLucci for a birdie. You also, if you make a clutch putt, you get a blue chip. If you miss it, you get a red chip. So, and it's a 1, so he makes it, and that's a birdie for DeLucci. So, had some real trouble with the putting luck earlier in this round, but these guys have kind of like had it come back to him. So that moves DeLucci to -4, tied for 7th, so within 5. Okay, next up is Suchen Tien, who has been he's birdied 5 out of the last 7 holes, so finds himself 1 behind Hockel. Now it's going to be course controlled 14, so he's hit it into the trees with his tee shot, and he's going to have to try and scramble out of that. Green 5 means the lie is iffy, and that he needs to be a master in order to recover well out of it, and he doesn't. He only has semi-sandy, so he would be better out of the bunker. So because he's not master, if he were a master, he'd have an easy putt for par. Instead, he has a difficult putt for par. So difficult is 1 to 3, and he's got to make a 50% chance here to stay 1 behind the leader, and he does make it. Drills it home and will remain at -8. Yunli Song, mainstay on the tour here. He has several victories. I want to say 3, but it might even be more than that. But again, okay, 5 course controlled 24. That's going to be in the tall grass with his second shot. So green side, he's going to miss the green, and it's a bad lie. So because he is not a master, he's going to end up instead of having an easy par putt, he's going to have a double difficult one. And this is where we have a mod. Well, it's part of the game. It's lag. I put a little mod into the lag putt. So double difficult, if you lag it, double difficult par becomes an easy bogey. I just put a roll in here that if you've got double ones or double sixes, there's some adjustments, but otherwise it's just the same rule. And so it's the same rule. So he lagged the double difficult par putt. Now he has an easy bogey, and he's going to drop a shot. He'll drop, let's see, he's going to drop the -2 with that bogey. So Yunli Song, this is not going to be his day today. It appears, at least at this point. This morning, I guess you must be either on the left coast or somewhere even farther west, because it's almost 3 o'clock here on the east coast. Alright, but wherever you like it, wherever you're at, wherever you like, we've got it going on. So, alright, so to the 11th. And feel free to comment who you're rooting for off of this slate of golfers here. Quite an array. We've seen probably 3/4 of these guys at one point or another. If I had a root for somebody here, I would love to be rooting for Eddie Sykes, but he's just had a terrible front nine. He's at +5. I feel like he's just been kicking around here for a long time. Vancouver. Yeah, there's a guy that I've been watching a lot of. He goes and he does like what do you want to call it? He videos himself out golfing, and I've been watching a lot of that. It's pretty entertaining to see somebody. There's a few of them out there that do that. Will chronicle their travails on the golf course. So the par 3 11th, 194 yards. So it's a bit on the lengthy side, but I mean it's probably pretty normal for a tour par 3, right? I mean most of their par 3s are at least 180 yards and maybe breaching 200. So panoramic view of the Pacific Ocean provides the backdrop on 11. That's what the little speech says here. So Gail Honorado, he could use the blue chip, but he's going to just play this straight up. Should be able to squeak a par out of this without much trouble. Course controlled. 12, that's going to be in the bunker. Finds the bunker near the green, and he's going to have to get up and down with a 4. So chunky, he's not chunky, so he'll have a moderate par putt. So a 1 to 5. Rolling the green die, and he makes it. So Gail Honorado stays 1 back. Maybe it's Gail's day. You know the guy I mean. So it's not a scratch golfer. That's the golfer. That's what you know him. That'd be cool. That's kind of neat. His story is pretty interesting because I think he had some real health issues, and then, but there's 2 or 3 guys that I have been because I was trying to get back to where I was golfing pretty regularly, and I don't know. There's been some changes in the situation where I'm at, not necessarily my own changes, but just I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it, but that's pretty neat. Small world, I guess. But he's a pretty maybe you don't know him, but maybe you know the channel that I'm talking about. Okay, so we got Isaac White. So I feel like this guy is sort of a combination of Isaac Hayes and Barry White. You know what I mean? Isaac White. It's just sort of seems natural to me. So I imagine this guy with this low voice and liking to do, funk music and, I don't know, say children? Oh, familiar with the channel. Yeah, okay, well, it's not that small of a world then. Yeah. So and with the golf that he plays, he seems to have a tad bit of money. So anyway, 224. I gotta focus here on the golf. I want to talk, but the golf is more important. Is Isaac a champion? He is a champion. Easy birdie putt. Now I have to warn you, and I think it's going to influence his approach here, because he's missed several of these. He's had one birdie, one bogey, so he's sitting 3 back at even par. But I think he's going to take this easy birdie putt into a gimme and use one of the blue chips he has. So that's going to make it a 6-6 miss. So he hits the putt and it's in the hole. So finally his second birdie of the day, and Isaac White to -7. And now the Welsh golfer Bryce Cadogan and he's going to take the patient par, and he has a bevy of chips here that he could use at some point. What would be a strategy that I would probably use for him is to try and buy gold, because he has neutral putting, and I don't think buying control of holes helps him a lot, because he only really has Shaper and Icon that can help him. So it's kind of what I'm thinking. If we get Golf Cam course down the stretch, and maybe we get a couple of them where he gets a birdie putt, we can kind of keep him out of the weeds on that. But he gets a par here on 11. All right, now we're going to go to the lead group at 10. This is a short par 4, 351 yards. It's double cordial. It's friendly. And it's the shortest par 4 at Diamond Head. Wiley. Excuse me. Trying to avoid that. Avoid using the play name as much as I can. It still comes out. But anyway, Chico Fonseca, he's one back, and this is a hole he might, but of course his playing partner, who is the leader, is also playing this hole. But I will say Franz Ockel he's gone 3 holes without a birdie, and he's only 1 under par on his round. So white 4 means it's golfer control, and 2-2-3, we go to that. And is Chico a legend? No. Is he a hero? He's a champion, a semi-hero. So we look at the dot, or the decider die, and it's a dot. So yes, he is a hero. That's going to be an easy birdie putt. Now he doesn't have any blue chips, but he could join the leader here with a 1-4, and he misses that putt. So it's going to lead to a gimme par and a chance to tie the lead, and he can't get it done. Sorry, my wife sent me a picture from where they did the Formula One race today, and it's like it's a goofy picture. Anyway, I'm not sure how accurate that actually is. It looks a little mocked up there. Anyway, now your leader, Franz Ockel. Let's see, it's going to be 2-6-6 as the 3 brings golfer control. King or Shaper, Franz Ockel, his driving is actually one of his weaknesses. He's got a yeoman rating there. Is he a champion? No. That leads to right now. So Franz Ockel is neutral. The green 2 is going to ask, is he hot? So because he's neutral, he's parred the last 3. This is going to lead to a relatively difficult birdie putt. And it is actually a difficult birdie putt. So he could try to make the 1. It would take a 1 out of 6, as you can see on the chart there. He could also, so if he lags, he's going to get a gimme par, and he is going to lag, pretty much taking all of the chance for make out of it. And then you get an easy par putt, and he holes that out. So he remains one ahead of that trio of golfers that are at -8. Now, Eddie Sykes. Every time he gets in the final round, he psychs himself out. But there you go with the same roll, 266. Wow, it was very... So king or shaper, neither of those. Champion, no. So we're going right now, and Eddie is also neutral. And at 6, this is going to be worse. I think this is a double difficult, or is it a difficult putt for par? Is he hot? No. Is he neutral? Difficult par putt. So it's a 1-3, and Eddie's woes continue. Oh, now we need the moderate bogey. He makes that, but 6 over par, not his day. Can't get anything going. If I ever used the HMB, the thing is, I'm not big on spending money on that kind of stuff for some reason. I guess I tend not to have that kind of money floating around. But I mean, I do probably if I really want to, but I guess I just... Excuse me, I was thirsty. They like to talk about this bling stuff, and I guess I just don't. I don't necessarily go for the bling, but it's not to say it's not worth it. I guess I kind of go... I don't want to say minimalist because I bought this dice, So I bought a dice tower, so it's not like I'm afraid of spending money, but... Again, part of this is I have this, like for HMG, I have this system that I've kind of put together, which, I don't know. There are times I think to myself, I'd love to do the cards again on the desktop and just, shuffle around like we do with the leaderboard like that. But there'll probably be a time I try something like that, but not as of yet. So 14. We're almost to the check for the, what do you call it? The out of contention roll. But 430 yards. It's a par 4. Low course control figure 2. We got a 4 and 5 there. Semi-cordial, semi-friendly. Should be reasonable scoring numbers here. If you keep their drive to the right of the fairway, you can see kind of like... Says the guy with the fuzzy dice in his eye. Yeah, I don't know. I think that was a gift, but... And not from like a channel follower. This was like almost like gag gift at Christmas from one of my kids because they know I do this. So let's see how Shinji Kanishi plays the 14th. Gets a 1, so he has control. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go to the Golf Cam green chart. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 will lead you right to Golf Cam green on golfer control. So, yeah, par 4, and it's a green 3. Is it a challenging green? It's semi-friendly, so he's going to have a clutch birdie putt. Now, this is a conundrum here. Your blue chip can raise your putting too, so from like neutral to gold or rust to neutral. But he's semi-gold, so if you spend a chip, you're only getting a half bump. But then when you roll the 5, you feel like, oh man, because then he loses the blue chip for missing because the red chip that you earn cancels out the blue. But I think we're going to stick with this clutch putt. He's got a 66% chance to make it with another 6/10 or so thrown in there for good measure. And he makes it. So Kanishi jumps to -6, so he's 3 back now. 3 birdies in a row on the charge. This guy has what it takes to win. Now Kenji Morita. And he gets a 1. It's going to be 3, 3, 6. We go to the par 4 chart with golfer control. We see, is he a shaper? Kenji Morita is a shaper. This is going to be a great drive as the gallery cheers. What does it say? Precise shot, good bounce. And we go to the 3 on the gallery cheers chart, hero or champion. He does not have either of those, so it's going to lead to an easy putt for par. So would have been a birdie otherwise, easy birdie putt, but instead he has to settle for a par. Tough for Kenji. So someone here is rooting for Kanishi. Burke Yielding. He is sitting at the bottom of the... And I don't know, maybe after this round of holes I'll do some out of contention stuff. Because he is 9 back with, what, 5 to play here, not counting this one. So we've got a 2-4-6 par 4 chart. Uh, 2-4-6 king. No, he's not a duffer. Semi-champion, and the dot's there, so he'll have an easy birdie putt. Well, he's going to go ahead and throw a chip in there, so he gets to go from easy to gimme. Because I might be bringing him out of contention here. We'll see, but he gets a birdie here on 14. So he's tied with Sykes. Fonseca. Yeah, it's interesting. While I do some changes here on the board, I'm gonna just I'll show you that guy. I gotta just move the whole card over. You can see where the trend is going here as far, and so also if you'll notice here, the golfers that are shaded black with kind of gray lettering, they are stormy, and Fonseca's the only guy that is sunny. So okay, yeah, so yeah, I haven't figured out the best way. You know, maybe if I get this squared away with my, it's definitely liking, it seems to be liking Excel less. Please, you know, just if you, hopefully someone will throw a message in there if this is back or not for them. I'm not going to be able to guarantee that this continues for the rest of the time, so I'm trying to keep this going. I need to probably, yeah, okay, good. I probably just need to try and bang my way through this and stop talking, because the other thing I probably need to do is limit my switching between programs. So I'm just going to try and focus as much as I can. I'll keep an eye. You can hear me. Okay, good. So, okay, well, if just indicate if there's anything up. And I'm just going to I'll keep an eye on this, but I'm going to just keep right on moving and see if we can get through this.